Hello, is anybody out there? Is anybody out there real? I'm starting to think that I'm in an alternate universe where people aren't real. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Bunker Nation, whatever this thing is. And I'm going to be your host for the evening. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you to Andrews, Texas is here. Missouri is here. Oregon is here. Boy, my eyes are red. Allergies. Mississippi's here. From the blue skies of Montana, they're here. All right, y'all, come on in, smash the like button, and we'll sit around and talk for a spell. Hey, Scott. I got a package. I'm glad that it arrived today, because if not, it would have been cheating. Scott and his wonderful wife sent a box of fruit, and had I gotten it a day earlier, it might have been considered cheating, but I got it today. For some reason, they required a signature, so the mailman wouldn't deliver it. I had to go to the post office and get it. So that made sure it was no cheating, because I couldn't have gone to the post office yesterday. 92 today. It's 92 right now here, but it was 97 a little while ago. I'm sorry that you have an ad. Do they have an ad on the live videos? They surely can't have ads on the live videos. I am free at last. That's right. Yeah, so I got up this morning and got a bunch of chores done and fed the animals and all that, said adieu. And I drove into town and went to the gym. Not a soul in sight and not nobody there. It's a 24-hour gym, so you have a little key fob that lets you in. So I went in and did my workout and the whole thing and left and never saw a soul. You really can't write that. You can't write that well, that you get off a 30-day self-imposed lockdown and you go into town and go to the gym and just nobody there. It was like Omega Man. 4 minutes of ads. Okay, so when do the ads run? If I start at 7 o'clock, it doesn't show you me live? I don't understand how ads are running. I don't get it. 4 minutes of ads, but that's before I come on, right? That's not as I'm starting. I mean, they're not cutting into the live broadcast running ads. They're running the ads before I come on, right? So you click on it. So if you got here like 5 minutes early, you would have already seen all the ads. Yeah, I understand they run ads during the replays. That's how they give me my 50 cents a video. Oh, 30 to 60 seconds. All right, well, I'll start not saying anything important during the first 30 to 60 seconds. 10 second, 30 second. I'll make sure I don't say anything important at the beginning. I'll this is an ad that's running. I'm glad. I'm glad they're not cutting in with 4 to 5 minutes of ads, because we're only a couple minutes into this thing and it would still be running ads. And I'm fine with them running ads during the replay. You should have been here. You should have been here live. Yeah, just make faces and all that kind of stuff. So we're off of the 30-day survival challenge. Things are different. It is noticeably and demonstrably different. Like I said, I got up this morning. I still have to go do all my chores. I still have to feed all the animals and water everything and get everything squared away. But then I drove to town and I went and went to the gym and came home and got cleaning. It's going to take me 3 days to get ready for Danielle to get home. So I got to clean a bunch of stuff and doing dishes and all that kind of stuff. And then I realized that I did not buy ice when I was in town. And if I'm in town, I got to buy ice. So I actually drove back into town and went to the kiosk. Her clothesline's not fixed yet, but she's not home yet either. So it's one of the projects that I'm working on. Tonight, when I get done with this thing, I'm going to go put a shelf thing up that I bought. I'm trying to get a bunch of stuff done. So I got today, tomorrow, and then Friday, she'll probably be home about, Lord willing, about 6 or 7 o'clock. So, pardon me. I'm hoping to have a bunch of stuff done before she gets here, mainly cleaning up and sweeping and doing all the dishes. And I told her I'm going to take some laundry in tomorrow, get some laundry done. That way it's not all sitting there like she's like, oh, I got to do all this laundry. I got tennis elbow in both elbows. It's actually Scyther's elbow, but it's the same thing. And I have not really had that much of a problem with it doing the body weight exercises, but today I did actual weights. Man, my elbows are killing me. So I've been watching these videos on and I know you can heal tennis elbow, golfer's elbow, Scyther's elbow, whatever you want to call it. I know it can be healed. And I got these roller things that you roll on there, and that's one of the reasons I needed to have ice. Is ice is one of the real big things, but oh man, it hurts bad. And I was doing like curls today. Oh man, that is some pain. So I'm going to be working on trying to heal myself up. So one of the things, and I'm not going to get into my topic yet, but one of the things that had a lot of people ask me, and I told some of y'all, a lot of y'all, I guess, that I'm starting a YouTube channel for fitness, just because I'm getting so many questions and people are interested in how I lost 101 pounds and all this kind of stuff. And I want to be able to share and encourage people and inspire people. And so I started a channel. There's only 14 subscribers right now. But so if you want to subscribe, you can just go subscribe. I think it's called BunkFit, BUNKFIT. But on that, I forgot what I was going to say. At least I'm honest about it. I don't just sit here and just make up words. I was going to say something about doing videos on that channel. Oh, anyways, I got some you'll see when we do the full day videos of the 30-day challenge, I got this roller thing that's foam. It was like $10. That is one of the best things that I've ever bought in my life. It's you roll your back on it and you can roll your muscle. It's a muscle roller. Get one of those. If you have a floor and you have that thing, you can fix a lot of stuff. So you can actually fix a lot of like scar tissue and tissue damage and all that kind of stuff. And so I actually got a package in today that's these like lacrosse balls and these spiky balls that you use for tennis elbow. I haven't tried it yet, but that's going to be one of the things. Robert says, first day in the gym Monday, lats and hamstrings are still hurting. My lats and hamstrings are hurting, but I didn't even work those. My hamstrings have been hurting since I butchered that pig. So I don't know if you guys have ever watched anybody professionally butcher an animal on the ground, but you use your legs a lot because you'll roll the animal over and you lock their legs, whichever one you're working or area you're working on, you lock their legs behind your leg and you're basically holding them with your hamstring or your legs in a bent position. And you can roll the animal around and control a dead weight that's as heavy as you are by using your legs. And my hamstrings have not gotten over that. And I was on that leg roller today, and I still have knots, huge knots in my hamstrings. My color is better. That's good. Same lighting. I got some sleep. That was major. I actually took a nap today. That's gonna be a major thing is getting sleep. A lot of stuff that I've studied, sleep is major important, and I do not get enough sleep. I know that I get up at 3:30, and the natural thing for people is just sleep later, but I can't sleep later. I wake up at 3:30. It's a habit now. And my problem is not going to bed early enough and not falling asleep early enough. And if I do go to bed early enough, it's still kind of light and it's very hot. So I've got to just find a way to where I can get more sleep. And sleep is so important. I mean, it's critical. Your life is like cut in half if you don't sleep. True story, science. And trying to muscle build or trying to be fit, muscles are built primarily during sleeping. And so, yeah, I got to learn how to get some sleep. So I did get some sleep last night. I think the major point from what I've read, I'm not an expert, is the deep sleep cycles. So the overall sleep amount is important, but the deep sleep needs to be more than like 90 minutes. And I got 2 hours yesterday. Yeah. By the way, Tales of the Green Valley, I was so yesterday at the end of the challenge, my friend Frank from Brownwood drove over here and picked me up, and we have it all on video, and took me to town. So we were talking, and I was telling him about Tales of the Green Valley. If you have not watched Tales of the Green Valley, you need to watch it. Everybody in the Bunker Nation needs to watch Tales of the Green Valley. It's on YouTube. You can find them. You need to watch all the 12 episodes. That's the first series. And then they did one like Victorian Farm and Edwardian Farm. Watch all of them, but definitely watch Tales of the Green Valley. Very, very, very educational. I will sleep better with my wife here. No doubt about that. No doubt. And she's supposed to be home. It's just for the weekend. She's going to be home Friday. So we're going to go do some stuff, and Saturday we're going to go to Brownwood and hang out and do some laundry and do some other stuff. And then Sunday we're going to go to church, and then she's got to go back on Sunday, but she'll be here on the weekends until she finishes the project she's on. Yeah, Tales of the Green Valley is fantastic. I have pitched doing something like the Tales of the Green Valley here in America, and it would be huge. It would be huge. It would be the biggest thing on television. It would be the biggest thing on the internet. But there's no vision. People don't have a vision. Tales of the Green Valley was a major hit in England and all over the world. And to do something like that here would be just fantastic. I mean, I have it in my mind how to do it and have it be better than Tales of the Green Valley. Robert says, my daughter and my son-in-law took a pig butchering class. He's a Texas lad, was a Marine sniper and E6 weapons officer. She followed dad and is a Cobra pilot. They raise chickens and bees. All right. Thanks for that update. No, it's good. Interesting. Yeah, pig butchering is a critical skill, but there's a whole difference between doing it old school, like Romanian, Eastern European style, actually butchering the animal on the ground, and then what we do, which is more deer style normally, which is hang them on a gimbal and in the winter when it's cold and all that kind of stuff. Scott says he recently recovered from an illness that robbed me of sleep for 3 months. Yeah, it's not that I'm like, I've been through periods of my life where I could not sleep, where I was like, I wanted to sleep and I couldn't sleep. My problem now is that I'm sorry about my hair. It is out of hand. I don't know what to do about it. My problem now is that I'm awake, and then I'm now used to waking up at 3 to 3:30. I don't even hear my alarm anymore because I'm already awake. At 3 o'clock, I am awake, and I cannot go back to sleep. So I get up and I do chores, and I do come down and do a workout, or I do exercise, or I do a walk, or I do something. But by about 8 or 9 o'clock, I'm sitting on we have a little love seat and taking a rest, and I'm passing out. I'm trying to fall asleep. So I would rather not do that. I would rather sleep at night and get all my sleep in and then be awake. So I can be sitting there, like a couple of times when I've done these bunker lives, I've been sitting in that chair right there 30 minutes before I'm supposed to go on, and I'm just out. If you can butcher a deer, you can do a 1,200-pound steer. Yeah, theoretically you can do it. In actuality, that's like saying if you can paint a Matchbox car, you can paint a real car. Theoretically, you could do it. I have butchered a full, probably 2,000-pound cow. It is not the same as a deer. But in theory, if you can butcher a pig, you can do it. You know, you can figure out how to do it. But I can tell you that if you have not butchered a pig on the ground, you're going to have a lot of difficulty. Just moving a dead body is a lot of difficulty. That part right there should be the snippet that we cut out and we put at the beginning. Jose, everybody, I know you may have seen this, but I have a theme song now. Who heard about this? Raise your hand. This is one of the coolest things ever. Everybody on here needs to go look up Walt Wilkins, and the song is Trains I Missed. So when I was 30s, I found this song. I used to listen to Texas music a lot, and I just love this song. And I used to tell people I don't like modern Christian music. I find it not only kind of degraded and unbiblical, but I just don't like it. It's just really, really irritating. And I have found songs that are secular songs that are more Christian than so-called Christian music. And so one of them is this song, Trains I Missed by Walt Wilkins. So it was in the playlist of my life, you know. I'm going to give you an update on Pennsylvania here in just a minute. It was one of the playlists of my life. And of course, when my children were growing up, they listened to it because I listened to it. And then when they would get their first little iPod or whatever, I would put music on there. And that was one of the songs. And they loved that song. And so the other day, my friend Mike Younkin was asking me if I was listening to this Facebook page, which is a lot of sequestered artists, musicians, and a lot of them I know are like, and I said, yeah, Walt Wilkins is on there, and I really, really appreciate Walt Wilkins. You ought to go listen to his song, Trains I Missed. So he was like, okay. So I got on there. I went and put Trains I Missed on. I was like, oh, man, I love this song so much. It's so good. So I just, as a whim, I wrote him a letter, Walt Wilkins, and I said, you know, my name is Michael Bunker, and I would like to use this song as a theme song. I actually, when I make full videos, I'm going to have it as bumper music. I used to have Citizen Cope, Sun's Gonna Rise, at the beginning of my podcast, and it got to be very popular, and people loved hearing it when it came on. And so I would love to have a great song to put at the beginning of the podcast or the beginning of the show. I'd like to use your song. So I know there's licensing, and I know that. So tell me how much it's going to cost me for a year or whatever license to have the show as my bumper music and to use it. And he wrote back, very, very nice, very, very nice. And he's letting me use it for free. And he said he's looking forward to Pennsylvania and the movie. So that was cool. Very, very cool. So Trains I Missed by Walt Wilkins. Somebody, if you want to, you can go get a link. Now, the first link is like a live, which is the one I put on Facebook. The second one, I think, is the studio version. That's the one like we grew up on. My children and I all listened to, and my wife and all that. So if somebody wants to go get that link on YouTube and put it in the comment section, then people can listen to it. So you'll be hearing that song. I'll be playing it. Once Sean gets here and we figure out how to set up my studio here, I'll have a button. And like when I go live, instead of the commercials, we'll be playing the bumper music. My allergies are now infecting my eye, and it's making me itch. All right. I butchered a deer by hanging them on my skid steer bucket. Yeah. And the thing is, if you can hang it, it's easy. So whether it's a deer or a steer, if you can hang it, the whole job becomes easy. Gravity does a lot of the work for you. Doing it without that is very, very difficult. All right. So here we are. If you guys have questions or comments, put them in the comment section. Everybody should hit the like button because there's 20 people watching us and there's 9 likes. So today I did a live interview on Draft to Digital with my friend Kevin Tumlinson. You guys can find that interview on the Draft to Digital podcast. I think it's D2D Live or something like that, but you can find it on YouTube. If I can find it, I'll put it in the description. And so we were talking about the movie Pennsylvania. I have talked to Stacy Jorgensen, who's the producer, and we're both, looking forward to getting going. Hopefully Hollywood starts rolling here pretty quick and things get back on track. I'm going to yawn. See, right now I could go to sleep and I would probably sleep for like 15 minutes. It's just so hot. So anyways, I talked to Stacy and she said, she's looking forward to things getting going. And I don't think it's going to be any time really, really soon because it's in California and all the laws and everything else going on out there. So like I said, if you guys have questions or comments, go ahead and put them in the comment section. My topic for today is determination, but the main gist of it was that because I've been asked a lot about this lately, all of these areas of my life interweave or interlock. So I was talking to Kevin today on the D2D Live, and I was telling him that really what happened was my wife and I were planning on this movie being made and starting the movie right about June, and filming. And so we were kind of adapting our life because she was going to be here by herself for a good long 6 to 9 months. And so we were kind of adapting our life. And you guys have heard a lot of the story. We didn't plant a garden. We didn't plant a crop. We didn't do a lot of things. And then, of course, this thing happened. And it just opened up the opportunity because I teach on preparedness and survival and living off grid for me to be able to be an example and try to sit here every night and help people and answer questions and teach people principles. I like to teach principles and not how to do things. And so all of these things interlock. And one of the questions that came up from the audience today on the D2D Live podcast was about my writing and about getting discovered by Hollywood and all of this. I'm telling the story about, COVID happening and then doing this survival thing. And in the meantime, I'm in the middle of a fitness renaissance. And so I've lost 101 pounds. And a lot of people are contacting me about that because they're inspired and they're starting to walk. And so all of the things have something in common, and that is determination. And one of the questions I get a lot is, and one of them I got today on the D2D show was, what should people be doing? Let's say you live in the city, or let's say you live in a suburb. What should you be doing? And it's very, very tempting to tell people things to do. Get tents, get a backpack, learn how to start a fire, whatever, there's a laundry list of things. But what I've always tried to do is teach people principles so that if you learn the principles, then whatever happens, you can adapt the principle to whatever you need to learn how to do. And so my answer to that was the same thing I've told you from the very beginning, which is start asking yourself, this thing that I have to do, cooking, cleaning, feeding my family, whatever it is, how will I do that if this service is not available? What is the trustworthiness of this service? What is the likelihood that there could be an interruption? And what will I do if it's not available? Those questions cause us the ball to roll. So, and other questions I've got is like, what should government be doing? What should individuals be doing? All of it comes down to having the determination to learn to do the right thing and the next thing, whatever the next thing is. And so people want a recipe. We talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Maybe it was last week. It seems like forever. People want a recipe. They want, okay, tell me A, B, C, D, E, what I need to do. That's going to fail. It's going to fail. Just like this, during this challenge, I was trying to make protein French toast and protein pancakes. And then you're reading it and they're like, use coconut flour. Where am I going to get coconut flour? I can't go to town. So, but if you know the principle of why they would use coconut flour and all those things, then you can adapt it and you can make it something else. And likewise with philosophies, and likewise with what you should be doing in a survival situation. How do you make it work? How do you make it work? And the foundation of that, what all that sits on, is the determination to do it. How did you lose 101 pounds? I had the determination to do it. I get the question a lot because the people that are asking the question want a trick. They want a button or something they can push that says, this is the easy way to do it. How did you lose 101 pounds? I lost 101 pounds the way anybody loses 101 pounds. Now, you can do it safely or you can do it recklessly. You can do it smart or you can do it stupid. But in any case, it involves you eating at a caloric deficit and burning more calories than you're taking in. That's how you lose 101 pounds. That's how you die. If you want to just keep losing weight till you die, you eat at a caloric deficit so that you're taking in fewer calories than you're expending. So, but you have to have the determination to do that, to learn, to study, but to get up. So when I decided my life was not going to change unless I got up at 3:30 in the morning, that was for me. That's not for you. I needed to wake up to a different world. It needed to not be the same world I was waking up into to all the time. If I woke up in the same world I was in, I was going to do the same things I've always done. So I decided I needed to wake up to a different world. And it is a different world at 3:30 in the morning. Completely different. The dogs are not barking mostly. Nobody's awake. You have the world to yourself. And that for me was a mental trick that instilled determination in me. And every night, part of you goes, but part of me would go, yeah, you're going to get up and you're going to do it again tomorrow. Every morning when that alarm would go off, a huge part of me was like, just turn it off, go back to sleep. This is silly. You can still exercise later on in the day. But I knew that was a key to me sustaining, was being determined. And so that's why I did it. Same thing with my diet. Same thing with, studying to find out what foods I could eat, when to eat, and all these type of things. To have the determination to do it. And then when you start to see results, then that bolsters the determination. And it's the same thing with survival, preparedness, with the situation we're in. We're in a very, very sketchy situation. A lot of people are, I went to the gym today. A lot of people are like, oh, there's toilet paper in the stores. And I told you guys in the third or the fourth one of these talks, when all of this happened, I said, things are going to go back to normal and everybody's going to go, whoo. Go back and watch it. One of the first 3 videos that I did after COVID became a thing, I said, this thing's going to amplify and it's going to get worse, and then it's going to get better. And people are going to go, whoo, that's over. We can go back to living like we were living before. You cannot. We are looking in the face of a Great Depression. We are looking in the face of massive unemployment, inflation, instability, civil insurrection. I'm not predicting any of those things, but all of those things are likely routes. They're likely tracks that could be timelines that could happen. And if you're not considering those things, if you're discounting them because of your normalcy bias, you will fall back into what you were doing before, which in a bad enough situation will be a failure. It will cost you, it will cost your family, and it will cost a lot of other people, because nobody in this world today goes out alone. They take a bunch of people with them. And by that, I mean, it takes a lot of people to try to come and save you and try to help you, try to bail you out because you didn't think and you didn't plan and you didn't care enough about yourself and your family and your neighborhood and whatever else to prepare. And so all of these things have this in common, and that's determination. The determination not to listen to naysayers, to not to listen to people who call you names and people that, want to make fun of you, and to do the right thing, do the next thing. And that's one thing I had to tell myself throughout this 30-day challenge, because it was brutal. We were in the 100 degrees for days on end. You get up and you do the next thing. What is the thing that needs to be done? And there's a hierarchy of things. And every day I would be on that video and I was like, today I'm going to try to do this and 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 do this. And every day I would get one of those done. And the next day I would say, okay, now it's this and this and this and this and this. And I would get one thing done. But you do the next thing. Whatever that is, you get up and do the next thing. And that determination rubs off on other people. It creates an environment of stability for yourself, for your family, for your children, for your neighbors, and for everyone else, so that at some point you become an anchor to anchor the situation and to calm the situation so that we don't end up with tires burning in the streets and barricades and the French Revolution, which is likely. So determination. So whether it's, you want to start walking, I started off by walking. That was my thing. And I was at the gym yesterday. I went by the gym to sign up, and the nice lady was there, said, "Did you do this by walking?" And I said, "A lot of it was walking. I've done body weight exercises and cardio and all that, but a lot of it was walking. A lot of it. And the reason I was able to keep going was walking. And walking is determination. It is the manifestation, the distillation of determination is just walking. Just getting up and putting a foot in front of the other and walking. Because it is a optimistic behavior. It's optimistic. You don't have to be going anywhere, but it's optimistic. All right, y'all. You guys got to get some questions or comments in. I am slowly, but quick enough, running out of gas. And everybody go listen to Walt Wilkins. The Trains I Missed. That's going to be our theme song for the Bunker Nation. If you want your gray hoodie or your navy blue with gold Bunker Nation shirt, you need to get those orders in like by Friday, because that's going to be the probably going to be the cutoff where I send in the first order. Pardon me. Yeah, most people don't have any self-discipline at all. That's true, Lewis. What was my favorite thing about the 30-day challenge? My favorite thing was, and I think that's exactly what I was just talking about. I think it was just having a plan and moving forward. So much of life, even my life, is it's kind of floating. You're kind of waiting for something to happen. So for us, because of the movie deal, a lot of our life was waiting every day, hoping something was going to happen, hoping we were going to get a message or something that, particular actor had signed on or something like that. And so you end up going through a lot of your life and you're not in the moment. You're not, I teach a lot about being deliberate, and you get out of that. And so this 30 days, I had to be deliberate. I had to wake up every day and know this is what I'm doing right now. I have to do the next thing. And that really was probably the best thing out of the whole. It got me motivated again. I want to put that all of that at second place, though, because it just occurred to me. The number one thing was seeing this life through my wife's eyes, because I decided to spend a whole week doing basically what not only was my wife's chores and her things, but what was traditionally considered woman's work, which was brewing. Butchering was woman's work. Brewing was woman's work. Baking, a lot of the B words. And so I decided to take 1 week, and in that week I brewed, I butchered, I baked, cleaned, laundry, canning, and to be able to see all of that. And so I was telling my friend who took me to town yesterday, Frank, I said, it was very easy for me because I had children and everybody had duties and everybody did their thing to get up in the morning and eat my breakfast and go to the office. And it's not like I didn't work. I have 7 novels and all these millions of words and commentaries that I've written. So I'm actually working. But it was very, very easy for me to walk away from the farm and not ever see things from their point of view of how much work it was, how difficult it was to try to make do. And so that's probably the number one thing I got out of this month, was being able to see, Danielle's using this clothesline that's just like, it's like a U, and like the bottom part's almost touching the ground. But that's just a metaphor, because everything up there is that way. Everything up there needs to be fixed. Everything up there does not run efficiently. For 15 years, 13 years, she carried every bit of water. And you use a ton of water for laundry, for dishes all day long, for 5 people, 6 people. And all of that water got carried in buckets. We didn't get the hand pump, pitcher pump until late 2018, I think. I think it was 2018. So she's only had that thing for 1.5 years, maybe 2 years. And so I was able to see a lot of that, what she's gone through with subpar materials and broken tools and bad eyeglasses and everything else. And I'm down there doing my thing because I have business and work and writing and communication and all this kind of stuff going on. And she's just a trooper, just kept going forward. But I've been able to see a lot of stuff from her point of view. How does Danielle feel about your weight loss? I don't know. We'll have to ask her. I imagine she's supportive, but I don't know. I was watching an interview with Hugh Jackman and his wife. The dog's trying to get in. Hugh Jackman's wife was being interviewed. And when he got like super buff for the Wolverine or something, she didn't like it very much. She felt, I guess there's some kind of comparison, or I don't know how it works. So we'll have to ask her. She'll be here this weekend, and I'm going to try to get her to get on here with me for a Bunker Live on Sunday. Jerry says, when I go walking, I set a goal of 1 mile. When I reach that, I say, good job, 1 more mile. And keep doing that. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, she does deserve a steak. What was my least favorite thing? At the beginning, for the first 10 or 15 days, the filming everything, trying to keep batteries charged, messing with the solar power. The solar trailer went out, trying to move data. That was the worst. It was a complete nightmare. We were just infrastructure-wise completely unprepared. If you ever watch like Les Stroud or any of those guys talk about how difficult it was shooting Survivorman, because people don't realize it. Like you see a, and Frank and I were talking about this yesterday. You see a scene where Les Stroud is walking, and it's like a half a mile, and he goes up to this top of this mountain, and you see him walking. And then they cut to the next scene. They don't show you him walking all the way back to get the camera for the next scene. And, you know, we learned that when we shot a pilot for a reality show out here, and a whole production team, TV production team came out. And when you're watching those shows, it just seems kind of natural. You know, the guy's walking through the woods, and then you see a view of him stepping over the creek, and you're looking up through the water and you can see him step over. Your conscious mind doesn't grab hold of it. It's just, oh, he stepped over the creek. But when you're there and they're filming and they're like, stop, let's move the cameras, go back 30 feet and walk, do the same walk exactly. And then they're like, stop, we got to put the camera in the creek. And they put the camera in the creek, and then you step over and they're like, stop, we got to get the camera. And that's if you had a crew. So doing it by yourself, I wasn't doing a lot of those silly things, but actually you do have to move the camera. Sometimes there's something going on and you're like, you don't have the camera, so you got to run and go get it. People want to see certain things and you're like, oh, I didn't shoot that, I didn't see it, or whatever. You know, that part was the worst part. Hey, y'all, I'm just running out of gas. I don't know if I sound like it, but I am absolutely, completely out of gas. So I'm going to cut it off here. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Thank you all for being here. Make sure you tune in this weekend. I'm going to be doing some shows, but I'm going to be doing one with my wife probably on Sunday. I always appreciate you guys. If you want to get you a gray hoodie, get you one. Go to michaelbunker.com/store. The link is in the description, and get you some swag and whatnot. If you're going to buy anything from Amazon, just go to one of those links in the description. Buy whatever you want. They give me like 50 cents, like a 30 cents or 7 cents. But as always, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Lord willing, I'll see you in the next day or two, maybe tomorrow, maybe after that. We will get some rest. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, Shemaine. And I love you guys. I'll see you soon.